Welcome back to 190 Vision Revisited, ladies and gentlemen, scholars, skeptics, and people who accidentally clicked on this video. Today, we're diving into one of the biggest puzzles in the biblical universe. And no, it's not, where did Cain's wife come from? I'm talking about why Genesis gives us not one, but two very different creation accounts. It's like reading chapter 1 of a book, turning the page, and suddenly, boom, whole new angle, new style, new vibe.
Exactly. On one hand, you have this sweeping, cinematic 7-day creation event, like God directing the world's most organized movie set. Lights, sky, oceans, plants, animals, everything rolling out in perfect order, like he's checking items off a cosmic to-do list.
And right after that, we get an up-close, slow-motion, hands-in-the-dirt scene where the Lord God personally shapes the first human and plants a garden. It feels almost like the world's first DIY project. So, the big question: are these two stories one unified masterpiece? Or two totally different traditions sitting side by side like roommates who barely talk to each other?
This is 190 Vision Revisited, where reflection sparks transformation.
I say that they are two totally different traditions sitting side by side like roommates who barely talk to each other, because the differences in style, method, vocabulary, and especially the timeline, these aren't tiny differences. These are, did we even read the same script differences?
My opinion is the complete opposite. The two accounts form a single, brilliant structure. Two lenses, one truth. Cosmic wide shot, then intimate close-up. Like a documentary that starts with space, then zooms down to the ants.
That would work if the timeline didn't suddenly do a backflip. In Genesis 1, plants show up way before humans. Day 3 is a botanical explosion. Day 6, humans. But Genesis 2 opens with no shrubs, no crops, no rain, and no farmer. So humanity must be created first so plants can grow. That's not zooming in. That's rearranging the furniture.
True, unless we're talking about two different kinds of plants. Genesis 1 is about cosmic vegetation. Wild plants, natural forests, the let there be green everywhere moment. Genesis 2 is about agricultural plants, the kind that need irrigation, farming, and, wait for it, humans. So the second account isn't reversing the timeline, it's giving the reason humans were needed. Nothing cultivated existed because nobody was around to till the soil.
Okay, I get the botanical distinction, but you have to admit, it takes some interpretive gymnastics to keep the timeline in harmony. The text doesn't say, oh, by the way, different plants this time. We have to infer that. The tension itself hints that these come from different traditions that care about different theological messages. Let's talk creation style. In the first account, God creates with pure command. Let there be, boom, existence. In the second, the Lord God is practically elbow deep in clay, shaping Adam and planting a garden like a divine landscaper. If this were one unified narrative, why such a drastic shift in method?
Because the methods match the subjects. When creating galaxies, oceans, and the laws of nature, pure command makes sense. When creating a person, someone who can think, feel, and argue on the internet, it makes sense to shift to intimate craftsmanship. The change in method isn't a contradiction, it's storytelling brilliance.
And now, the big one. Light on day 1. Sun on day 4. What were days 1, 2, and 3 running on? Studio lighting? It feels like two different cosmologies stitched together.
Or, it's a layered system. Day 1 gives us primordial light, the concept of illumination, the separation of light and dark, the birth of time itself. Day 4 gives us the tools that manage it: sun, moon, stars, timekeepers that mark seasons, months, years. Light first, clocks later. It's clever, not chaotic.
But that requires us to read day 4 as mostly symbolic rather than literal. The text doesn't say, "And then God made the cosmic calendar system." It says he made the lights. So again, we're harmonizing the stories only by interpreting heavily. One more thing. Genesis 1 is universal, cosmic, oceanic. Genesis 2 suddenly talks about rivers we can actually find on a map: the Tigris, Euphrates, Cush, Havilah. It even reviews the local jewelry scene. Hey, the gold here is really good. That's a huge shift. Why zoom in so tightly?
Because universality needs a landing spot. If God creates the whole cosmos, the story still needs to show where humans fit into that universe. Genesis 2 roots the story in a real place, so the audience can say, "Oh, creation isn't just cosmic, it touches our world." It's not contradiction, it's connection.
Or it reflects a tradition fascinated with local history, resources, and regional identity. A tradition that wants to say, this is the land God shaped for us. Different focus, different priorities.
Whether we harmonize the accounts or see them as distinct, they share powerful themes: order, purpose, life, blessing, humanity's role in creation. Those threads tie the two together beautifully.
And the differences challenge us to see that truth might be bigger than one perspective. The text preserves both views, cosmic and intimate, because together they create a richer picture than either one alone.
Unified masterpiece or meaningful duality, either way, these accounts give us a lot to think about. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into big questions,
Plus a little humor along the way.
remember to like, share, and hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow.
And if you want even more content, head over to 190vision.com.
You can also find 190 Vision on the YouTube channel, Facebook groups, on Instagram, and even on Amazon Fire.
Basically, they're everywhere. So come hang out with us in the next episode.